If you're a fan of the Sly Guy podcast and you want some more bonus content and to support the podcast that loves you, head on over to patreon.com/Sly Guy podcast. It's all changing over there. Benny and I have made a plan and it's going to be very sexy and you're going to enjoy it. Can't really tell you too much more about it because I'm a man of surprises, but if you like to reach your hand into a salty sack of surprises like Santa, get on over to patreon.com/Sly Guy podcast. Enjoy the show.
I'm the Sly Guy.
Hello my friends and welcome once again to the Sly Guy podcast, where this week we are back to normal. We are back the way we should be. We're back with me and we're back with Snake Rat. So welcome one and welcome all. And I think that's an appropriate way to finish the year of 2021, which, let's be fair, has been it's been an up and a down year, let's be honest. But in terms of the podcast, it's been a year we can sit back and reflect on with a lot of positivity, I think. Would you agree with me, Ben? It's a lot of positivity throughout the year.
Yeah. All positives.
All positives on the whole. Listenership's up. The viewership needs to do better, but we're working on that. We all know here at the Sly Guy podcast, it is a solo podcast. We've done some soul searching. We've had a guest on the last week. We've had a guest producer the week before who was the same as the guest was last week, but we'll not talk about that. That's the way it works. And we've come to the decision that it's going to remain a solo podcast. Fuck guests and fuck you. This is what we do it for, and we do it for myself, and it's why it's called the Sly Guy podcast, alright? But we have listened to the thousands of people who listen to the podcast, and I'd say thousands of people haven't made suggestions, but a few have. A few have said, Davey, listen, we'd like to see you chatting to people. We'd like to see you with guests. We'd like to see you doing things a little bit differently, and we have decided, okay, we're going to do that, and we're going to do that on Patreon. So if you're not a patron already, that's up to yourself. But if you want to see some bonus content, you'll see that over there. We're also making some changes to the weekly Extra Sly podcast that we do. We didn't really have a name for it. It was unnamed. It was just an extra podcast on Patreon. Whereas now, for 2022, going forward, it's going to be rebranded the Extra Sly podcast, and it's going to be an audio-only podcast exclusive to patrons. So you don't have to look at my stupid face via Zoom in my dining room. I'll be recording it on crisp sound here in the studio, here for your ears. Now, what about that? What about that for a treat? And you thought Christmas was over and the January sales are going to be coming. This is the January sales right here. And we're moving needles. Is that a phrase, Ben? Moving the needle? I think so. I don't know. I think it is. Maybe moving needles. We're doing that. But welcome. I'm sure you're going to be listening to this going, Dave, you got a cold again? Yes, I fucking have a cold again. Now, in the lead up to Christmas, was that ideal? No. Lead up to Christmas, what basically happened was my wife Catherine, she got a bit sick. And by a bit sick, she got really sick. Like sick, cough, cough, cough. We went, oh no. He bends over there before I carry on, nodding his head like, what?
Moving the needle?
Yeah. What does that mean? Not Urban Dictionary, is it?
To shift the situation in some area, activity or sphere, etc., to a noticeable degree, such as we need to move the needle on global poverty. Yeah,
well, fuck global poverty. We're moving the needle on the Sly Guy podcast, and I think that's more important. You know, people, if they're hungry enough, they'll eat anything. You know, people are too picky nowadays. Oh, I have a gluten intolerance. Well, fuck off then. But what's not intolerant is me. I'm a very tolerant guy, and I'm going to get more tolerant because I'm fucking going to get a guest on the Bastrd show, and you know, hopefully that will satisfy the people who want it. But again, not change, not deviate, not move too much from what we know and love, and that is the Sly Guy podcast. Myself, on my own, an egomaniac, and it is what it is. Now I'm going to get even further into what makes me an egomaniac very soon, but before I do that, I was chatting about my darling wife getting sick. Okay, so this is the timeline. The week, probably, I want to say the 20th. In fact, no, Ben, did I ever tell you I headline my own show in the Ulster Hall on the 17th of December there in the Pillow Talk show? Yeah, which, by the way,
did it go well?
Did it go well? You haven't actually been here. I haven't spoken. Were you at it? No. And did you buy tickets?
No.
Okay. Supportive. And why not? What was your excuse?
Because it's my brother and sister's birthday, so I had no babysitters at all.
It's your brother and sister's birthday.
Because they're twins, yeah.
Oh, they're twins. I was going to be like, your parents are very organised when they buck. They only what's the date? What's their birthday? The 17th of December. So let me see. I'm not very good at maths. March. Your parents just every St. Patrick's Day they buck, and every.
It's not something that I have put in the diary. To celebrate once a year there.
Well, you'll be pleased to know the next time I'm doing it is on the 10th of September 2022. So if you don't come there,
there's no birthdays in September in the family.
Good. Nice. Well, I was actually born in September, believe it or not, 16th of September. You know what that means? And in fact, when I say what that means, it has been said to me by my own mother. I am the result of a Christmas party fuck. My mum and dad went to a work Christmas party and they fucking boom. And then 9 months later, on September 16th, I am born. Alright, so that's happened. Now, my mum, you're probably like, why did your mum tell you that? I'll explain. We were on holidays a few years back in the south of France, and let's just say there was a wee 2-for-1 cocktail offer in a local bar, and my mum thought that it meant 2-for-1 cocktails meant she got 2 cocktails where everyone else just had 1, so as I had, 7 cocktails, my mum 14. That's what she ended up blocked, and she still goes to me, she goes, see you, and I went, yes. She goes, see, you know when you were conceived? And I was like, oh, I don't, and nor do I want to know. And she went, Christmas party, 1985. Me, I was out. Dad used to work there, and he came, met me, and saw his fucking old friends. He brought me home and fucking bucked me. She didn't use that phrase. She actually used an old-fashioned phrase. He goes, he shagged the fucking hoop of us. And I was like, oh, don't you know that? And then 9 months later, you were born. And I was like, oh wow, that's, when you're hearing that, you're going, alright, okay. And while at that point, she's fucking scooping the ice out of her pina colada, trying to just get the last bit of pineapple, because I love pineapples. And I was like, alright, okay. And then she goes, you know when your sister was conceived? And I went, no, she was on holiday and you were in a cot at the bottom of the bed. And I went, why do I need to know that? That's too much information. He goes, there you go. So, and then she said a line, your mother should, sometimes the truth hurts. And I was like, well, that's not the truth I need to know. So then the next day, obviously mother, big hangover on her. I said to her mum, what's this all about me being conceived Christmas? She's like, no, you weren't. What are you talking about? So, well, last night you told me I was conceived at a Christmas party. And she was like, shh, fucking don't be stupid. Where'd you hear that from? I was like, you told me last night, 2 a.m, and you're fucking balls deep in pina coladas. She's like, well, I was just joking. And I went, then you told me I was a witness to you and Dad. And you know what age I was? I was 4. The same age as my 4-year-old was. And like, see, whenever I wouldn't even do anything with her in and around the vicinity, because she's like a full little mini person. It'd just be like, if I was the same brain as her at 4, she'd probably be like, here, Mum, Dad, would you mind stop having sexual intercourse while I'm trying to sleep here? Thanks. That's the level of intellect my daughter has. So why you did it? Perverts. But then it's like, yeah, I was in the room, and she was like, oh my God, and she went so red and was so embarrassed. She's like, oh, how'd you know that? Again, you told me. And she was, oh well, goodness me. And then my dad chirped in, as a classic dad. He went, to be fair, call a spade a spade. I'm like, doesn't even make sense in this context, you fucking idiot. But that was whenever I was conceived. That was how my sister was conceived. That was terrible. And speaking of my daughter being intelligent, she comes out with a doozy to me the other day in the car that genuinely left me going, like, does my brain work? Does it work, or am I We're driving along the Seacliff Road in Bangor, just having we like to drive along there, look at the sea, because hey, the ocean, we respect it. And as we're driving along, she was telling me a story about a new book she got for Christmas about an octopus, and whatever way she's talking about it, the octopus, she goes, meet Daddy. And I said, yes, chicken, what's the crack? And she goes, why are octopus's legs called tentacles if they only have 8 of them? And I was like, because she heard 10 and the legs tentacles. So she's in her wee brain, she's like, so if they're tentacles, why are there 8 of them if they're called 10? Why aren't they called 8-ticles? I'm sort of going, that's very intelligent. And I just said, obviously, what any dad would have said when a child displayed such intelligence. I said, shut the fuck up, you nerd. Fuck, called tentacles, that's what they're called. Now fuck away off. You can call them legs if you like. Go to sleep. Twat. But that was that. So that's how I was conceived. I don't know how I ended up getting onto that, because I was talking about my wife being sick on my show, Pill Talk, at the Ulster Hall. She said she was feeling a little bit unwell at that point. She said nothing out of the ordinary, no cough, no anything, just a wee bit snuffly. And she went to the show, and she said to me afterwards, she said, David, I have seen many things in my life before. You know, many experiences you have brought to me, and many of them have not been great. But your performance at the Ulster Hall on the 17th of December 2021 was iconic, historic, funny, orgasmic, and tantric. And I said, thank you very much. And yeah, it was quite an experience. So she started feeling a bit sick there. Then the next week after that, just really sick, coughing and all. And we're like, oh dear. Booked the PCR test, went in. I was thinking to myself, she's got COVID. So much so that I slept on my 4-year-old bedroom floor, my 4-year-old daughter's bedroom floor. Not my 4-year-old bedroom floor. Like, it's weird. Like, who marks the room in their house? My bedroom floor is 4 years old, and I slept on my 4-year-old daughter's bedroom floor to try and avoid getting sick, because I thought to myself, I've been drilling the gigs out, boom, 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 getting ready for Ulster Hall, been fucking in fealties and the fealties again, and I was in a fucking black box just working this show leading up to it, and I thought, I can't get sick the week of this, and I definitely can't get sick for Christmas, Jesus forbid. So I slept on my daughter's floor for 2 nights to try and avoid whatever the sickness was. I say to avoid the sickness until the PCR result came back. It came back negative. We breathed a sigh of relief. I couldn't move my spine or my back, so I was like, I need to go back in my bed. So I got into bed. I was sleeping. Genuinely woke up in the middle of the night to see my wife's face. And she's asleep. She's this close to my face, like this close, and she's asleep. And I'm like looking at her, and obviously I went, and then she just, again in her sleep, she went, and you just felt the warm air just beating off my face. And I was like, well, whatever it is she has, I have now got it. But again, that didn't pass. A few days passed. Christmas Eve, I'm starting to feel a bit snotty. I'm like, oh no. I get a bit of a cough, and I think, oh no. Then I was doing a gig before Christmas, and one of the acts who were on it tested positive on a lateral flow test for COVID the very evening after the show we did. So I literally took a mic from this act, held it to my face, may as well have snogged him. I went, blah, 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 this act now is a break. Now I know the microphone is sanitising the break, that doesn't matter. I touched whatever. So I thought, I've got COVID. This is the time I will get it. I will be fucking stuck inside at Christmas. Shit. Now I know a lot of people have been stuck inside, and that is shit, and I do feel bad for that. But I didn't want to be one of those either. So I went to get my PCR, did a few lateral flows, they all came back negative. Did the PCR on Christmas morning, woke up before I even checked if Santa was there. I checked my PCR results, negative. Yes, I can still go and enjoy Christmas. I didn't, because I was fucking sick as fuck. No matter what, it's COVID or not, you still feel shit. I was coughing loads, snotty nose. Like my daughter Matilda, the 1-year-old who I like, she had just like green slugs, like out of her nose constantly, so she's got the cold, she's just gross. But then you can't not hug them because they're so sweet. So yes, you hug them, and like you just end up having a stream of just flubber just hanging off your face but you just can't resist it because they're so sweet. So that happened, and then I got sick, and on Boxing Day, like Lazarus, I'm fully better again. I'm like, this is amazing. I've risen from the dead, I'm better, I can enjoy Christmas, I feel festive at last. Then the day after Boxing Day, or sorry, St. Stephen's Day. Why is this a debate? Have you seen this? This was the thing on Twitter, by the way. People were giving off with some, like, I think it was like a nationalist or Republican guy was like, we don't use the phrase Boxing Day, that's very English. Here's the thing, see if you in 2021 are arguing as an adult person with other people about the names of things, you should commit suicide by hitting your head repeatedly into a wall, you fucking idiot. What are people doing? What are you looking at me like that for? You look very smug over there, Ben. Why are you back producing the podcast? Why can I have Butler again? Because he's got COVID, sorry, yes.
I didn't realise you looked smug.
You do? I thought you discovered something like St. Stephen's or Boxing Day.
No, I googled it, and then I was like, nah.
Who cares? You know, who cares? Call whatever you want. But by Christ, it's if you're an adult and you actually care, your life is clearly fucking boring. You know, if that's what you're sitting at home going, oh, about, get a life. Just get a fucking life. And see this whole Derry, Londonderry. I say Londonderry or Derry. I say Derry. 9 times out of 10, I'll say Derry because it's shorter and easier to say and I'm lazy. There you go. But it's Londonderry. Here's an idea. Stop being such a fucking nerd. It's Londonderry. Oh, is it? Ooh, you know what you are? Wankatron. Get out of my face. Call it Derry. I don't care. And then some saying Derry Girls should be renamed Londonderry Girls. You know, you should be renamed Grand King Wanker of Dickhead Avenue. That's what you should be renamed. And speaking of renamed, I have a new name officially as of Christmas Day. There we have it. I've segued that together perfectly. And you know what my official new name is now? Benny.
Is it Stephen?
No,
So
my
you have a
new
day after
name
yourself?
is Lord David Robert Elliot of Cowell Glen. I am a lord. For Christmas I got some land and I am a lord of the manor. So officially I'm ringing my bank tomorrow when it opens. I'm changing my name to Lord David Elliot. I'm changing my licence to Lord David Elliot. I'm changing, and I want to be referred to going forward as Lord David Elliot. What do you think about that? So you know you're now my peasant because I'm a lord.
And where's this bit of land that you...
The bit of land is, believe it or not, in Scotland, which is obviously having a rich history in Ulster Scots. It makes a lot of sense for me to have land in Scotland. I don't know exactly now where the land is, but I do intend to bring my family over there, and I do intend to build a castle, and I do intend to invade Helens Bay Beach and kill the sea swimmers.
Out of interest, what size is this? Obviously, as a lord, it's going to be a considerable
I assume
size.
it's sizable. I assume it is a big plot of land.
Enough for a castle?
Several, I'd imagine. Like, if you do more for me in terms of, you know, let's just say scratch my back, I'll give you a castle. You know, if you make the Patreon content better, Ben, there could be a wee castle in it for you. You know, not your wife or your kids, but just you.
Just me, bit of peace.
You could have a turret all to yourself, and they could visit if you want. But whether we've spoken about the drawbridges and the way oil vats before, you know, if they can get through that, you know, they're welcome in the castle. If they can survive what I throw them, I'll piss a lot of time. But if they can survive that,
fair play.
More welcome to join. But yeah, I think being a lord, it's definitely changed me. You know, I think it's been an honour that I didn't really ever consider before, but like now I definitely feel like I'm above a lot of people, and you know, I think it's only fair. I still wait till I'm better from this cold, and you will see some serious lordship from me going forward. So people, if you are writing any questions to the podcast, or if you're commenting on the YouTube, I just want you to write the word Lord in capitals under the YouTube video. So if people are watching this on YouTube, get on, just let's just swamp the comments with Lord. When you're sharing that you're listening to the podcast on Instagram stories, Lord. That's the episode name this week, Ben. Lord. Okay? Lord. I am the Lord, and I want you to worship me as the Lord. Forget Christmas. I am the Lord. How's that make you feel, Ben? Would you start to refer to me going forward as the Lord?
Lord something,
The Lord and Saviour.
Lord and Saviour of podcast.
No, I want you to call me your Lord and Daviour. Your Lord and Daviour, the Saviour of podcast. That is me. And I just want to remind people that this is a solo podcast. I have no guests. I have no co-host. I'm just a fucking genius. Alright, so thank you very much for enjoying it. And there you have it, Ben. How long have we been talking for? Because I need to get back to my manor.
About 20 minutes.
Oh fuck. No, well guess what? Joking aside, I am a lord. That's not a joke, but joking aside, it has been an enjoyable 2021. This will be the podcast episode that kind of closes out the year. We you know, I think, Ben, a wise man once said, you know, and by the wise man, I say a wise man, a wise lord once said that in order for you to worry less about where you're going, you need to take a step back and look at where you've came from. That's what you need to do. I spoke about the what is it called when Jesus tells those wee stories that he just makes up?
Parables.
So the parable of the Lord and Saviour was that story about the time that the Lord was walking across find me the bridge in New York. It's such a great bridge, and I can't remember the Brooklyn Bridge. I want to say, as the Lord and Saviour was walking across the Brooklyn Bridge, doesn't Jesus hang around with a lot of prostitutes?
Literally just Googled Bridge of New York, and there is quite a lot.
Is the Brooklyn Bridge there?
It's there as well.
Turn around, let me look at it. I'll see if it's the Brooklyn Bridge.
Hold on.
I think it was the Brooklyn Bridge, to be fair. Let's see. Oh, it was the Brooklyn Bridge, right? So, doesn't Jesus hang around with a lot of prosies?
On the Brooklyn Bridge, yeah.
Not on the Brooklyn Bridge, just generally, and like fucking... Where did Jesus kick about when he was, like, my age? He was born in Bethlehem. Or as my daughter was saying in her...
Jerusalem, sort of, in and around that.
Yeah,
sort
Jerusalem,
of,
right, so kicking about Jerusalem. But as my 4-year-old said, James was born in Bethlehem. So, not Jesus, James. But he used to hang around with a lot of hookers, didn't he, back in Jerusalem in the days? I mean, never really mentioned what they did together, just hung out. So, similar to the original Lord and Saviour, the Lord and Saviour was hanging around with a bit of a hooker. We'll call her my wife for the sake of the story and also clarity of truth. But as you were walking across the bridge, we wanted to give up walking. Well, I say we wanted to give up. She didn't. She wanted to keep walking. I had sore feet. I wanted to give up. But in that moment, I stopped. I looked at how far we had to go, and it looked like quite a distance. I was like, oh, it's so far. Let's just go back. But I stopped, Ben, and I looked back, and I realised how far I'd come. I'd come further than I had to go. Sometimes that's how we got to look at life, guys. Sometimes we need to just stop and appreciate how far we've come and realise that we don't have that long to go. Keep on trucking, guys. Keep on moving. And that's what I want to say to people going into 2022. You crank it up a little bit. Turn up the gears. Look to 2022 with a positive mindset. Go after your goals and let's make it happen. Ben, what are your goals? Do you have any sort of... Would you be some of these people who would buy into New Year's resolutions or anything? Or what would your sort of general take on that be?
Not massively. I mean, it's not so much something stupid. I know people are like, I'm going to go to the gym every day, or I'm going to do this or that. It's just more kind of in general. Like every year, just try and be better at whatever you do and try to be a nicer person. Yeah, no,
I like that. I've been as nice as I think I can be in my life now. I'm
maxed out.
I'm maxed out. I'm going the other way. I think I'm just going to admit that. But
you're a lord now, so I mean, do what you want.
No, like I mean, I never anticipated. You know, to me, it's been a real positive year professionally in terms of comedy, and obviously to be able to be in a position of, now this is my job. It's very exciting. But ultimately, I never thought that I would get to the stage where I would be a lord. I didn't think I'd finish 2021 as Lord Dave of Elliot, but I am, and it is what it is, and it feels nice. But I wouldn't be a big resolutions guy. You know, it wouldn't be that wouldn't be a thing for me. Definitely goals, I think, is an important thing to do. I think targets in any walk of life are important because, you know, it's a measuring stick to measure yourself up against. You have to do it. And do you have any goals other than just to be a better person? Because I think what I'm going to say is no disrespect to you here, but that's fucking naff. And also, you know, you have to have wee targets to try to work towards.
Not really.
No?
I'm fairly laid back with most things in life, so...
You, against keeping, like, the Bible... You're a man who enjoys the Bible, that's true, isn't it?
It's my favourite book.
Your favourite book?
Yeah.
Your Mind's Angels and Demons by Dan Brown, but... both do touch on religious elements, but would you be the sort of guy that would, like, I know, get a wee break from work for 10 minutes, maybe just pop out and like sit at a bus stop and read the Bible? Or would there ever be a time you go to specific parts of the Bible, like the parable of you know, the Lord and Saviour crossing the Brooklyn Bridge is probably the number one parable there? But would you ever look at a parable and be like, I need to see this to give me a wee bit of motivation?
No, not normally. No.
Right. Okay.
Does that ruin your next?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
I can pick one if it helps.
Well, yeah. What's your favourite Bible? I mean, I didn't think this would be going down this route, but it's good to have you back, Ben. What give me your favourite story in the Bible?
Probably the one where he feeds everybody fish and loaves. 'Cause that's quite a cool thing to do.
You know what my favourite was, which is so sly, and it is so sly as well, is like whenever, wasn't it Mo was the guy that led the people out of Egypt?
Mo or Moses?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you know people, you know people, but Moses brought them out. This is what's not talked about in the Bible enough. What was so sly? Moses brought the people out of Egypt, and then whenever they got out, he just dropped the sea on the people chasing them. So they all, I assume, died.
I just hope he turned around. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
As he did.
hundreds of Mo just went, you can't see me. Hundreds of thousands of people just dead. Like, as much as they're sly trying to get the slaves, they still have to go back to their family, you know.
But can you imagine if you were walking with him and Mo, as you said, didn't tell anyone his plans, you turn and go, what about, and then the next thing he's just standing there going, fucking yes. you would be fairly terrified of this man.
Yeah, I mean, you would. Now, was it Mo that did that with magic, or was it G.O.D. upstairs did it?
I think it was probably equal blame, to be fair.
Yeah, but Mo must have had something about him, like, for God to go here.
God probably went, I've got an idea, and Moses like, oh, big good crack, you know.
Because like God sometimes he mugs off the lads. Like, he mugged off Moses. He's like, mate, build a wee boat and all, and take every single creature to them on board. And Noah's probably like, it's quite a task, God. And he's building, and all Noah's sons are going, let's fucking look at this header. And then obviously the big flood came, and did he bring any women on board, Noah, or just
wife?
His wife? Hopefully loads of wives, because then if that's the case, we're all related, and it's creepy.
Somebody Google who was on Noah's boat.
Yeah, no, which people? I don't know, because they'll just tell you. Like, even my 4-year-old knows two of everything. But what about animals? How many people were in Noah's Ark?
Who was on Noah's Ark? Your wife, your sons, and your sons' wives. So,
a bit incestuous, Noah, mate. I would have brought it like a couple of randoms just for the procreation, but then obviously back in those days, God was just making people like. I mean, what I want to say is, out of that, and I mean, people might take this the wrong. I don't know.
They definitely will.
But all I'm saying is, there's a lot of chat about equality these days, isn't there? There's big movements about feminism and everything, and blah blah, and you get the old argument, oh, you wouldn't be here without a woman, and blah blah blah. Hey, women, you're just a spare rib, alright? That's how it came to be. I didn't make the rules. Hey, spare rib, all I'm saying. And it's not my view, because I don't know if I believe in the Bible. You know who does? Evan Poots, Arlene Foster, DP. You know what those guys are? The bosses. So, pretty sly in it.
Yeah.
And as a feminist, that hurts me, but, you know, if someone comes up and proves that's a fact, can't argue. And does that mean, oh wow. I'm about to blow minds here. Are you ready to have your mind blown?
I'm strapped in.
This is a question for the DUP, okay? Oh wow. If the Bible is to be believed, and women were created from the rib of a man, does that mean everyone's gay? We're all gay. Everyone's gay. Arlene Foster, gay. Edwin Poots, gay. That guy that blocked me on Twitter, gay. Whoa. Is that true? If a woman's made from a man's meat, the world is gay. If you believe in the Bible, wow. And I don't think we can say anything else about it. I think that's the end of this. I think the podcast is finished now. That's just wild. Everyone's gay. Everyone.
There you go.
Gaylord over there.
Gotta go home and tell my wife that.
Gaylord right here. Literal lord of gayness. Me. Wow. That's impressive, isn't it? If you think about it, have you ever thought about it like that before?
You know, it was never really brought up in church.
Yeah, well, guess what? See you next time I'm out having caviar in the Merchant with Jeffrey Donaldson. I'll be like, here mate, sorry to fucking shit in your parade, but you're a bit gay.
Just working in some small talk.
Listen. It'll be funny. Imagine I'm sitting there with Jeffrey Dawson. We're tucking into some steak and I'm having some brandy and he's having a shandy because, he's a wee bit risque, right? I'm just going, here, Jeffrey, are you gay? He'll be like, absolutely not. I'll be like, read the Bible, mate. We're all gay. And he'll be like, what do you mean? I'll be like, here, we're all gay. You, me, gay. What about it? And he'll be like, are you propositioning me? I'll be like, I don't know. But all I'm saying, we're all gay. What do you think about that?
I would like that after everything that has gone on in Northern Ireland politics. You are the man with that one.
Listen.
Brings down just all of that to DP. Everybody just crumbles because of this.
Yeah. There you have it. I think I've proven a point. On that logic, now the feminists might take a wee umbrage at that too, but they're gay as well. Everyone's gay. That's it. Gay pride.
So you be the everyone is gay party?
Yep. Everybody is gay party. Now, if you want to take the Bible literally, there you have it. That's literal. Literal. You can't get more. Like, I think since I've become a lord, I've become somewhat of a, am I actually, fuck being a lord, am I a deity? Is that something that what's the definition of a deity, Ben? Can you Google that and tell me if I am one, please? And I'll just sit back and what I'm drinking is some hot Ribena here from a wee cold. Get your mic up and tell the world what a deity is and refer to me as it, please. I'm pretty sure. The definition of a deity, which I am now, I think I've ascended from a lordship to deity. Tell me.
Do I have to?
Yes, you have to.
A god or a goddess.
Well,
divine status, quality, or nature.
Since we're all... So read that again into the mic and just read the whole phrase. Let me listen to it.
A god or goddess, divine status, quality, or nature, the creator and supreme being.
Right. The name of this podcast is Lord, Creator, Lord, Creator, and Supreme Being. Please write that down.
Say it again.
Pardon? Lord, Creator, and Supreme Being. That's the name of the episode. And going forward, I want people to call me Lord, Creator, and Supreme Being. And you know what? If anyone's got a problem with it, hit them with some news flashes. You're gay.
Is this whenever Kanye's doing the whole church Sunday service thing?
Kanye's gay.
Is your next stand-up gig going to be similar to that? Just you?
I came in here today as Dave Elliott, and for whatever reason...
A straight man.
A heterosexual. For whatever reason, I came into this studio today as a believed heterosexual, and as I'm leaving the studio, a Lord, Creator, Supreme Being who is gay. And it is what it is. You can't argue facts. The Bible is to be taken literally. And there's the case. I have offered the parable of the Brooklyn Bridge, and now I've offered the parable that we are all gay, and it's true. And if anyone's got a problem with that, you know what they can do? Go fuck themselves. Because that's all. Anybody, oh my goodness, you know anyone you've ever fornicated with, Ben, is also gay? Like, that's just, my mind is blown. This is what people need to be saying in church, or not church, in politics. And you know what? Fuck it, teach it in church. In Stormont, when people are like, gay people can't get married, be like, they already are. Wow. There we go. I'm something else, Ben, aren't I? I am something else.
That was literally crossing my mind. You're something.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Lord, Creator, and Supreme Being. Something else. Yeah, I'm definitely a special one.
It sounds better whenever you're the one who's giving yourselves these titles. I think.
Well, I started off. I am a bestowed lord with a lot of land. If you want a castle, mate, I'd fuck up. You know, but we're all gay together in this earth. We're all friends. We're all brothers. We technically are. Oh my God. We're all gay and we are all family. We're all incestuous gays. And that's what the Bible teaches. Respect. Now, last week, I don't know if you listened back to it, Ben, did you, last week's podcast when it had Mr. Butler on it?
I skipped through it, if I'm being honest.
We kind of had a wee bit of a fallout with the Taliban on last week's podcast, so I just want to say to my Christian, I didn't write the Bible. Saws. I'm just interpreting it as it's meant to be interpreted. So Make of that what you want. And you know what else is pretty cool to interpret, Ben? Phat Bastrd Burger Bar. The Sly Guy podcast is brought to you by Phat Bastrd Burger. Phat Bastrd is a sister company of our longtime friends, a multi-award winning burrito bar on the high street in Bangor, Bebe, Adrianos. Burger patties have been misunderstood for too long. Like the Bible, they think we thin bits of meat are what you want in your mouth, but as it says in the new Bible, in the Lord Creator and Divine Deity's Bible, it says you need fat beef in your mouth, and Phat Bastrd Burger are going to give you that with 100% Wagyu beef, which is among the most sought after luxurious meats in the world. And I have travelled the world and I have tasted many different types of meat. I have had a full mouth of meat on every continent. I've been to Asia, I've been to Africa, I've been to North America, I've been to South America, I've been to Europe, I've been to Antarctica, and I've been to fucking North Pole, and I have had meat in my mouth in all those places, and nothing is as delicious as a copious marbling, which creates luxurious buttery tenderness. That is Wagyu beef, and that's what you get at the Phat Bastrd Burger. Phat Bastrd Burger have a wide range of delicious burgers, including the Phat Bastrd, the cheesy Phat Bastrd, the porky Phat Bastrd, the Ringo Stingo, the Fat as Fuck Duck, Crazy for Cock, which is chicken instead of beef, but it's still delicious. Who doesn't like a mouthful of cock, Ben? I know you do. We all do. And apart from people that don't eat meat. But by the way, if you think you're not getting any Phat Bastrd burgers because you don't like meat, nish, they've got a veggie selection with their cauliflower and quinoa burger. If you want to know more, or you want to just fill your mouth full of Phat Bastrd meat, you head to phatbastrdburger.com. That's PHATBASTRD burger.com. And not forgetting our all-time favourite, Bebe Adrianos. They're still coming at you with the dirt box. They're still coming at you with the dirty cock and cow box. And they, I think, for another maybe week or so, will be coming at you with the Christmas wrap, which is great. You know, delicious and nutritious. Bebe Adrianos is your number one for delicious Mexican flavour. And if you want to know more, you want 10% off your first order, download the Bebe Adrianos app or the Phat Bastrd Burger app. Or if you want to be traditional, you want to be old school, you contact 02891 479988. That's 02891 47 99 88 and say you heard it here on the Sly Guy podcast. That was a real good slap, wasn't it? Nice. That's what it's like when you slap a big Wagyu bit of beef onto your plate a bit and you slap your meat. It sounds so good. The podcast is also brought to you in association with Modest Beer. We're always brought to you by Modest Beer. Modest Beer has been Modest Beer from day dot. I know today in the podcast we've kind of like totally dispelled things we thought for a long time, but we've done it. This is what we're about. We're a myth-busting podcast and we're an educational podcast. I did an interview from my Ulster Hall show on the 17th of December last year, and you know what someone asked me on my interview? It was for a newspaper, and they went, what sort of podcast is it you do? And you know what my answer was, Ben? Current affairs. And that's what we're all about. We're talking about current affairs. We're myth busting. We're all encompassing, because I'm the creator and divine deity, the Lord and Saviour, David Elliott. Alright, and Modest Beer are just Modest Beer. There's no changes there. They're being modest. They are modest. They are the beer I recommend. If you want to know more about Modest Beer, visit their website, www.modestbeer.co.uk, or you can find them on Instagram, Facebook or Twitter, simply at Modest Beer. Now what's pretty dope and what's pretty fly about Modest, they've got some new merch on the rip, very sexy, very fashionable. Am I going to be wearing some soon? If I can better be, or I'll be ditching them as a sponsor, but they're great, they're sexy, we love Modest Beer. Check them out and keep listening to the podcast. Thank you. Just going to have a wee drink of water here because I did a lot of reading there. Very professional, wasn't that? That was a professional read, and here we are.
It's almost like a lord was reading it.
Honestly, this might be a bit awkward. I think my ego's taken a hell of a... Have you ever seen the movie, the Disney film, Aladdin? I think it's called Aladdin. It's about this wee guy at stroke stuff, and he's a wee carpet and a wee blue mate that's a bit weird on gear or something.
No.
Well, Aladdin robs a lamp, and then this wee freak guy who's on drugs comes out of it, and it's all fucking weird. But in that, there's a guy called Jafar who's a real sly bit of work, right? And see, at the end of it, Jafar does this fucking thing where I think he rubs the lamp, and he turns into, like, he goes from just being Jafar, this real sly piece of shit, into like this big giant snake thing, and like he just ascends in front of your eyes. I feel like I am having some kind of elevation similar to Jafar in the movie Aladdin.
I was about to Google that to see what the movie was, and then I realised, no, I don't need to bother.
Why? You remember?
As soon as you
have you seen Aladdin?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
but like this guy Jafar in Aladdin, he ascends, but then he gets mugged off and sucked off into the lamp by the weird guy. It's all blue on gear. But I mean, it's a great show. I would recommend it. Aladdin. It's been out for a long time.
I was going to say, it's a new movie, or
no? Aladdin's quite old now. There was a remake of it recently where Will Smith was the guy on the gear. It wasn't as good. I prefer the old cartoon Aladdin than the new one, for sure. But yeah, just check it out. All I'm saying is, myself and Jafar, we've ascended to higher beings now. And I mean, we're talking about modest beer. It is hard to be modest when you are a God, Lord and Creator. Like, I mean, I am trying my best, but it is hard. Ben, how long have I been talking for? Because I've got listeners' questions to go through here, and I'm like,
far too long, but about 40 minutes.
Can I just say, when I was a mere mortal, I did an absolutely amazing show in the Ulster Hall. It was amazing. Everyone enjoyed it. It was the best night of my professional life. Honestly, I loved it, and I really am. Well, no, I really was thankful. I'm not anymore because I'm a god and fuck you guys. But at the time, I was, honestly, really chuffed, and it meant the world to me. Now that I am above it all, I just want to say there is a deity, a lord and deity playing the Ulster Hall again on the 10th of September 2022. And if you want to witness greatness firsthand, if you want to witness a higher level of being in the flesh, I mightn't even be human. I don't know what form I will take on the 10th of September. I could be a spirit of a falcon by then. Who knows? Because already I've ascended beyond comprehension within the space of these last 40 minutes. So who knows what I'll be by the 10th of September. What I do know, if you want to come and see whatever form I'm in then, perform a show called Bits and Pieces, tickets are now available via the Ulster Hall website. I was sold a load for the last show, and I would hope to sell it out this year. So get in, get tickets, it'll all be good. It's sexy. It's there on the Ulster Hall website. Google my old name, Dave Elliott, and Ulster Hall, and it'll come up. Don't Google the Lord, Creator and Divine Deity, David Elliott, or you'll not get it. But it is what it is. Let me just go on and read out the questions here, and then we'll get going. Ben, how's that sound for you?
That sounds delightful, Lord.
Thank you. What's weird? There we go. Questiones. Hold on. I need a sniff. This is going to be gross. Can you cut this out, please? So people can hear me sniff.
Do Lord sniff?
No, they can edit it out.
I'm going to turn the volume right up on that instead.
Sorry. Well, you know what will happen to you?
Off of my head.
You'll die in your sleep because I will smite you. I will come over you in your bed and I will smite you. Because that's what I do now. Naomi said not Santa's sack she was expecting. Now, is this fit for a lord? I do not know. Daughter in hysterics after mum 60 bakes her an explicit drunk Santa cake. Dina Hussein 30 was left lost for words when her mum sent her a photo of a Christmas cake she'd decorated after running out of fondant. She decided to improvise. She was decorating the cake of drunk Santa, and she was just left with too much skin coloured icing. Oh wow! Can you see this, Ben? So that's what's going to be like whenever I come in to kill you in your sleep. That's because I know that's how you sleep.
Is that how the Lord spends his Christmas day?
You're not the Lord. I am.
You just lying like that. Just
no, I spent my Christmas day trying not to ruin everyone else's day because I was so miserable with the cold. But I was still just a mere mortal then, so I got sick. Yeah, so she made this cake. Let me see what they're saying about it. Well, Jackie sent a photo of her creation to her unsuspecting daughter, fell apart laughing, claiming she loves the cake, even if it's not what she asked for. You know what I would do? And I don't know if it's something to do with this cake. If you can get this photo up there on the screen for everyone to see what the cake looks like, I would have to eat the penis first because I couldn't have my children seeing it.
Is that the first time you've said that?
No, in a previous life, no. I've said plenty of things, but in that instance, I would have to do that. But it's a very sexy cake. Santa looks hot there, and major respect. Helen Larvin has said, oh wow, Helen has sent a lot of words here. So I'll read it out. So we really enjoyed the Ulster Hall show. My husband booked it for a birthday while he was in the Royal recovering from sepsis. Now, good news is if he gets ill again, you can just call for me. I will come over him and I will touch him and I will make him better with my healing hands. Which was very kind. However, he booked us seats in the front row, hoping for a good view. When we arrived, we got drinks and made a beeline for the front row and tried to work out our seat numbers. It wasn't obvious from our tickets, so we asked a member of staff, who was very helpful, and turned out that when he booked the tickets, he was looking at the seating plan upside down and had in fact booked us seats at the very back row behind a pillar. Still, great show. And then they said this picture, yeah, not ideal. Not ideal in the slightest. But I tell you what, be smarter in future. And by the way, there's still good tickets available, Helen, so get to them and I hope to see you in September. Oh wow, Sharon has sent a headline saying this is a headline from a local paper last week, was riding the cock being the Coquihalla highway here in BC. Have you seen any headlines or have you had the double take on? No, but there's a new film out on Netflix. I think it's called Notice, starring Ryan Reynolds and The Rock. Anytime I see it, my eyes just say nonce. Every time, like, oh, what's this? This is interesting, I'll watch this. And I'm like, a fucking DTRJ and fucking Ryan Reynolds, boring. So yeah, that's what's catching my eye at the minute. There's no headlines that spring to mind that really get me going. But to be fair, riding the cock looks like something I would very much enjoy. Whether it's a mode of transport or just another leisure activity. Jenna has said, sorry if I'm too late. I don't know if you are too late, Jenna. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. But in terms of question for the podcast, you're just bang on time. But what are your thoughts on Demi Lovato shaving the bonds for Christmas? You know what? They're a twat, and that's the end of that. I don't want to talk about them anymore because I got a letter from them suing me. But guess what, Ben? Any legal action against me doesn't count anymore because I'm above the law. Michael Kerr has said, hey sexy, loved the show a couple of weeks ago with the butt boy. My sassy question this week is, instead of bashing sea swimmers, why not try it yourself first? Yeah, excuse me.
Did you hear about the sea swimmers on Christmas Day?
Yeah, we'll get on to that after. Yeah. He goes, why'd you buy it? Like, have I ever swam in the sea before? Obviously, of fucking course I have, you dickweed. Been on holidays. You know, I've swam in some of the sexiest seas in the world. I've swam with sharks. I have swam with snakes. You're one of them, Michael Kerr, by the way. You fucking snaky, slithery bastard. But you know what? The whole sea swimming movement is gross. It's now a community of people who are justifying the behaviour of idiots. And that is what it is. And on Christmas Day, at Helens Bay, shock horror, they had to call out the lifeboats because they were at, I'm glad nobody lost their lives due to the stupidity of it, but hey, stop it. And on Christmas Day too, like, what the fuck? You know what I did on Christmas Day? I went for a pint at my local pub. And you know what my dog did? Jumped up and knocked the fucking tray out and the Guinness and Prosecco all over the floor. That's what you know what else he did? Broke a drawer in my house because he bumped it with his head. Stupid bastard. But speaking of stupid bastards, I've had enough of talking to you guys. I'll be back again next week with another podcast, some more fun. I don't know whether I will come down again from this high that I'm on, this inexplicable ascension, but maybe I will. But there'll be a lot of stuff happening on Patreon, so go over there and have a wee nosy, guys. This has been a lot of fun. Sorry about my cold. Good to have you back, Ben. No, it isn't. See you next week. Bye.
I'm the sly guy.